To replace Thermocouple A or Thermocouple B or Thermocouple C on the HCT-5H toaster, first power the unit off, allow it to cool down, then unplug it. Next, we need to open up the side electrical service panel. Please take note, if your toaster has one screw, two screws, and no screws on the bottom, you have the newer style toaster with a hinged panel. Remove the two screws, open the panel. If your toaster has 3 screws on top plus 2 screws on the bottom, that is an older style toaster. You will need to remove the 3 screws on top and just loosen the 2 screws on the bottom. Those panels are not hinged. Once you remove the 2 top screws on a hinge style toaster, open the panel to expose the electronics. The thermocouple locations are as follows. Thermocouple A, located on the green terminal block, first one here, is physically located at the very top of the toaster and runs directly across the other end of the toaster and makes a U-turn. Thermocouple B, located in the center of the green terminal block here, is located at this location, second from the top. Thermocouple C is located here on the green terminal block and runs through the bottom of the toaster down here. To disconnect Thermocouple A from the green terminal block, take a small slotted screwdriver and loosen the 2 screws. Pull the thermocouple leads away from the terminal block. Carefully cut the plastic zip ties along the thermocouple bundle without damaging remaining thermocouples. Open up the side compression panel door by opening up the lock. Swing the door open and lift it off the hinge. Note, we are unlatching this mechanism to illustrate the conduit for Thermocouple A for visual purposes only. It is not necessary to unlatch the mechanism. Next, take a 1/4 inch nut driver and remove the top nut. Pull thermocouple out completely from platen A. Next, remove the clamp from the old thermocouple using a flat blade screwdriver to separate it. Then remove, since we have to reuse this clamp. Next, we must break away these 2 top insulation tabs in order to expose the Thermocouple A conduit that runs across the toaster. Note, the Thermocouple A conduit is not this top one. It's the next one below. I need to further trim this insulation card to expose the lower conduit. Now that the lower conduit has been exposed, retrieve the old thermocouple from the conduit. And completely remove from the toaster. Thermocouple A is part number 7001291, is 52 inches long. Please note, some older toasters will also require the installation of the metal conduit tube, part number 7001292. Insert Thermocouple A into the bottom conduit tube all the way through until the junction is exposed at the opposite end of the toaster. Pull out thermocouple approximately 12 inches and pre-install the original clamp. Notice the Platen A hole located here does not contain a metal protective tube. Toasters that do not have a protective tube in place must have the protective tube installed as shown here, part number 7001292. Position it in the entry orifice and push up against the firewall. Insert thermocouple A into the protective tube all the way into the platen until it bottoms out completely. Then position the clamp against the stud and secure with the nut. Push the excess thermocouple into the opposite end until it looks as shown. Next, pull any remaining slack of thermocouple A towards you, route alongside the existing thermocouple bundles, and insert through the zip tie as shown. Next, connect the thermocouple A yellow and red wire to the corresponding sections on the green terminal block. The first screw should be the yellow wire, which is labeled Y. The second screw, red wire, labeled R. And secure with the small screwdriver. Secure the 3 thermocouple bundles with zip ties. Cut off any excess. Next, close the service panel, secure with screws, but ensure the wiring does not get pinched along the way. Reinstall the compression side door by positioning its 2 hinges over the 2 pins shown here. Close the door. Make sure the lever is positioned towards the unlocked side. Otherwise, the door would not close. Make sure it's unlocked. Push in, turn clockwise so that it lines up with the lock and secures the door. With the service panel secured, plug the power cord into the appropriate outlet. Secure. Test for proper operation.